Hello, everyone. You're welcome to the Women Lighthouse podcast. This is a community for purpose-driven women who desire to live their dreams and aspirations. Our mission is to inspire you to live your dreams one day at a time while serving as a beacon of hope and guidance. We will be addressing various issues related to womanhood. Join me as we explore our journey of life together. I am your host, Unyime Hamilton. Hello, ladies. You're welcome to today's episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. It's great to have you tune in today. Today, we'll be exploring the topic 7 ways to help a child grieve the loss of a loved one. I hope you've listened to the first 2 episodes on our Grieve series, which is the first one, 10 things that death has taught me, 7 ways to support someone who is grieving, and today, 7 ways to help a child grieve the loss of a loved one. If you haven't, you can check our YouTube channel and you would find that episode there. So let's get right into it. Before I start, I want you to know that I'm just a medical doctor and actually I'm in the process of grief. I recently lost my dad and I'm sharing my experience. This is actually a way of helping women out there and sharing my grief journey with you. So I'm not a trauma counselor or a grief counselor. These are the things I have learned when it comes to helping my 2 kids navigate this journey of grief and loss. So I'll begin by saying that when it comes to helping a child grieve the loss of a loved one, there are different dynamics to it, and it's dependent on the age of the child. In my own case, I have 2 children, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. The 4-year-old actually understands a bit what's going on, but my 2-year-old doesn't. All she knows is that she hasn't seen Grandpa in a while. Anytime she sees Grandpa's picture, she's excited, but she doesn't have an idea of what's going on. But my 4-year-old actually has an idea of what's going on. Why is that so? First, during the period when my dad was ill, he was involved in the process in the sense that he knew Grandpa was ill and Grandpa was in the hospital. He visited him regularly. We prayed for him. And so he was involved in the process. So the day Grandpa died, he wasn't aware and I wasn't strong enough to really take him through the process of what had happened. So all he knew was, oh, Mommy, we've not gone to see Grandpa. Where is Grandpa? So by the time I was strong enough, what I did was to share with him that Grandpa had gone to heaven. He knew where heaven was. He knew that Jesus was in heaven. So all I told him was, Grandpa has gone to rest in heaven and he's there with Jesus. And what did he say? As a child that he is, he was like, oh, Mom, I want to go to heaven and meet Grandpa. So I just told him, okay, you will go to heaven, but you won't go there now. You will go later when you are a bit older. For now, Grandpa has gone to rest. He's in heaven with Jesus and the angels. They are singing, they are dancing, they are having fun, and they are looking after you. So that was it initially. But every now and then he comes up and says, oh, Mommy, I really miss Grandpa. I want to go be with Grandpa. And I'm like, yeah, you will go, but you won't go now. Where is Grandpa? And he now tells me what I told him. Grandpa is in heaven. Who is Grandpa with? Grandpa is in heaven with Jesus. What are they doing? They are singing, they are dancing and all. And recently he told me, Mommy, can I tell Jesus to tell Grandpa to come back? I now told him, but Grandpa wasn't feeling fine. Do you want Grandpa to come back? And when he comes back, he's not very strong. Or do you want Grandpa to be resting? And he said, oh, I want Grandpa to be resting. And I said, so you see why we can't tell Jesus to bring Grandpa back. Grandpa is having fun there and he's resting. So it's better that grandpa stays there. So what's my point in all of this background story I've shared? Basically, when it comes to dealing with children, you deal with them based on their level of understanding. It's not even just about the age because, for instance, two 4-year-olds differ. A 4-year-old may be mature enough to understand things a certain way, while another 4-year-old may not be as matured enough to understand things a certain way. And in this case, it depends on the relationship that they had with the person that they lost. If they lost a sibling, they lost their best friend, they lost their parents, they lost their grandparents, or someone, definitely if the bond between the person that they lost was very close, then you know that it's really going to take a lot to help them through that grief process. So you need to weigh your own situation and see what is the peculiarity of my situation. If the child is old enough to understand things in clear terms, you would speak to the child in clear terms. But based on your child's understanding, that's how you would relate with the child. For me, I didn't even think about it prior to the death of my dad. Oh, in case such a thing happens, what will I do? No, I would say it's the Holy Spirit that helped me with wisdom on how to handle it, and my son was able to take it. Every now and then he asks and we talk about it. So let me go right into 7 ways in which you can help your child or a child grieve the loss of a loved one. The first thing, like I've just shared, is be open and honest. There's no need lying and saying, oh, grandpa has traveled or your friend has traveled. He will be away for a very long time. No, be open and honest. Like in this case, yes, grandpa has gone to heaven. That's what he understands, that grandpa has gone to heaven, in the sense that he has gone. In fact, I had to even make it look like a superhero kind of thing. How did grandpa go to heaven? Grandpa went up and disappeared into the sky. You make it look fun. That's for younger children. But the point is, be open and honest. And just tell your child things the way they are, because if you're not open and honest, you put expectations in your child that you may not be able to meet. So once you can't meet that expectation, you will now have to come back and start doing another explanation. So explain to them that this person they have lost has gone and will not be coming back. But that doesn't mean that the person will be forgotten. So the first thing is be open and honest. Encourage your child to express their feelings. When my son comes up and tells me, Mommy, but I really miss grandpa, I don't dismiss it and say, don't worry, you will be fine. No. I will tell him, okay, what do you miss about grandpa? Oh, I miss grandpa because he would have bought us ice cream and juice. You engage him, you get to understand what is going on inside of him. So you give your child room to express their feelings and answer their questions truthfully. The second way is to provide comfort. Offer physical affection. Sometimes when your child comes and is heartbroken, or sometimes feels sad, or sometimes makes certain statements, or even sometimes throws tantrums, because some children, their way of expressing frustration and grief and disappointment and sadness, they may begin to throw tantrums. For older kids, they may become nasty, they may become rude, they may question God, they may begin to act differently from what they would normally do. Sometimes what they may need may just be a simple hug. You don't even need to talk too much. You don't need to try to over explain. Sometimes you just hug them and say, everything will be all right. It's a matter of time. Everything will be all right. Provide reassurance. Reassure them that with time, the pain that they feel would reduce. It may not disappear, but with time, they will learn to deal with the pain better. Reassure them that you understand what they are going through. You understand the pain. Remember, based on the level of their understanding. You engage them, reassure them, listen to them. Even if they are venting, they are frustrated, don't try to stop them or hold them back. Let them pour out their hearts to you. So you provide comfort by listening to them, physical touch, a hug, reassuring them. The next thing you can do to provide to help a child that is grieving is to have a routine. Basically, children work better with a regular schedule and activities. So if they are used to doing things a certain way, even if the demise of that person, for instance, if a child loses a sibling or loses a parent, when maybe the second parent who is alive or the parents who are alive are supervising that child that lost a sibling, they shouldn't try to change the way things used to be. For instance, if waking up time for the two siblings used to be the same time, you maintain it. Don't try to adjust or change the normalcy of things. You maintain things the way it used to be. If they used to have a time where they go out for a particular activity, don't don't disrupt the normalcy of things because that person is absent. So as much as possible, let routines be maintained, let schedules be maintained the way they used to be, because the child is already trying to adjust to losing that loved one. Then you now come and make adjustments to the child's schedule. That means the child has to put in more efforts to also adjust to the new schedule. So that will just be a whole lot going on with the child. So it's important to ensure that you maintain schedules and routines the way they were before the loss of the loved one. The fourth way is to offer outlets of expression. You would observe your child. For instance, my son loves to draw. I can tell him, okay, can you tell me a story? He loves to tell stories also. Can you tell me a story about grandpa? What do you miss about grandpa? Tell me a story. Or can you draw you and grandpa doing something? Draw it for me. So based on what your child loves to do, if they love to write, give them a journal, let them write. If they love to sing, tell them to write a song. If they love to work with their hands, tell them to craft something. So you look at the uniqueness of your child and look for ways for your child to channel how they express their feeling. You can ask your child, how do you feel now? Draw it for mommy. Write it for me. Create something to express how you feel. That the child is now channeling their emotions into something positive. So offer outlets of expression to encourage your child in expressing their emotions. The fifth way is to memorialize the loved one. The first thing we did when my dad died, we printed a t-shirt. And if you see how excited the kids were about that t-shirt, and they even wanted to wear it to sleep. Oh, mommy, can we wear it to sleep? Mommy, I want to wear my t-shirt. Mommy, I want to. We memorialize him first, that t-shirt. The next thing we did, pictures. We did not take out things and hide them. We like on my laptop, the pictures will be popping. My son will come and see the pictures. Oh, I really miss grandpa. We talk about it. What do you miss about grandpa? We talk, and with that, he continues what he's doing. So help your child create a memory of the loved one. It can be create a book. I know when we were in school, secondary school, and we were preparing to pass out in SS3, we used to have this book. I've forgotten what we called it, whether log book or something like that. But like you have pictures, people write things. You have your book, you have pictures of your stay in the secondary school, people write things about you, just to create memories. Even after over like how many years of graduating, let me say more than 15 years, getting to 20 years or so of graduating from school, I can go back today and pick up that book and begin to read and look at pictures. That's the same way you memorialize the loved one. You can create a memory book. You can do something in honor of that loved one. If the child is old enough, tell them, oh, what would you like to do to put up in your room so that you can always remember whoever they lost, or what initially you just let them begin to use their mind to think of what they could create to create a loving memory of the person they have lost. It can be something that even years from now, that thing is relevant. Maybe they channel, for instance, if someone died of an illness, oh, okay, I want to, now we're in a social media age, I want to create awareness on this particular illness in memory of the loss of my friend. Something like that. So there are different ways and different ideas. Let them think through it and you guide them, you listen to their ideas and you follow them through the process. So the sixth way is to seek professional help. Remember, I said that people process grief in different ways and people's level of understanding is in different ways. The way one person will handle grief is not the way the second person will handle it. A child can handle it in a milder way. Another child can handle it in an extreme way. But if you have tried your best as a parent to guide your child through the grief process, but still you cannot get through to your child, some kids may just shut themselves up for days. If it's an older child, shut themselves up for days. They don't want to talk to anyone. They don't want to do anything. And you've tried so hard to do a lot and it's not working. When the child also begins to engage in vices that are dangerous and harmful, that's another time to seek professional help. When you've tried and it's not working, when the child becomes harmful to themselves or to others, you should seek professional help. So it's important that you can get the help of a grief counselor or therapist or a trauma counselor or therapist that will navigate them, because sometimes some children don't want to open up to their parents. They will feel more comfortable opening up to a neutral person, especially if they have some private things they will not want their parents to know about. So in that case, you get the services of a trauma or grief counselor. And the last thing you can do to help your child navigate the loss of a loved one is to take care of yourself. You know, sometimes if you have a child that is throwing tantrums, acting all out, then you, the mom, for instance, maybe you lost a sibling, the child lost a sibling, you lost a child. You understand? You lost one of your kids, and that's your child you're trying to help navigate to lost their sibling. You are also grieving. You are also grieving. So imagine if you do not take care of yourself, how will you be able to take care of someone else? Even if you were not the one that lost a loved one, your child is the one that lost a loved one, but you are stressed from work and other responsibilities, and your child is throwing tantrums, you become frustrated, you begin to take it out on your child. I know it happened to me. I was stressed from dealing with so many things, combining work, combining school, combining planning for burial. So many issues were just all around me. Then my kids are all over throwing their own tantrums in their own way. And there was a day I lashed out. I sent them out of the room and banged the door. I felt so bad. I had to call my kids, hug them, told them I'm sorry, that mommy is having a very bad day. And I apologize. So the point is, you need to take care of yourself. You need to make sure that you pay attention to your own well-being so that you are in the right state to pay attention to your child's well-being and provide the best support that they need. First, I just want to say to everyone who has been there for me through this process of grief, through calls, through texts, through prayers, through your givings, I do not take it for granted. I appreciate you all. I'm grateful to you all. May God continually also send people your way that will be there for you in your time of need. Please feel free to share in the comment section other ways in which we could help our children navigate the loss of a loved one. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. I hope you were inspired to keep taking steps towards living out your dreams. If you enjoyed this episode, we encourage you to share it with other women and leave us a review on our social media platform, which is in the description box. Also, feel free to subscribe to our channel to get notified of new episodes. Till I come your way on our next episode, keep living, keep dreaming. Bye for now.